Live from the spectacular Garden Roots in South Africa. We're streaming worldwide on eradiosa.com.
The ghosts of the garden route. It is finally time for part 2, and I know you've been waiting for this. Rose, hello, boo.
Am I supposed to scream?
Yes. Did you get a fright? Oh man, we should do this at night. It's not spooky at all right now. It's too bright, man.
Oh, no. I think it's better to tell it at day because at night times everything gets creepy.
Yes, absolutely. But I mean, part 1 was so popular, and today it is time for part 2, and I'm sure there will be more parts. Where are we starting today, Rose?
Well, I've decided to actually engage in this story of something that happened to myself about a little bit more than a year ago. And it actually happened in Sedgefield.
Ooh.
I was actually a friend of mine bought a house in Sedgefield, and we had a braai there, and I decided to stay over. They're doing a responsible thing and not drinking and driving all the way back to Hookville. And quite promptly was told, no, that bedroom over there, that's the bedroom you'll be sleeping in. And prior to that, another thing that I said, I don't like this place here. I don't like this house because there's like a presence here. And I'm like, no, there isn't. And so in the early hours of the morning, I decided to stumble to the bed, climb into the bed, and was promptly woken up by something stroking my hair, and it was ice cold.
No.
It was like, and it was literally lifting my hair up and dropping it, lifting my hair up and dropping it, lifting my hair up and dropping it. And I was like, no, go away.
Your Rose?
And and eventually just pulled the blanket over my head and thought to myself the next day, I was like, oh no, I think this, it might have just been a very cold evening, which it was, and I was just imagining things. But I've shared the story with them the next day, and they were like, and then a couple of months after that, we were there again, and the same kind of repeated the thing. It was by then it was summer, and the whole, we had a braai, stayed over, got to bed in the evening, and I got into bed and was lying in bed, and was woken up with a presence actually leaning against my body.
Oof.
It wasn't a very big thing, so I think it was, and it wasn't. It also, when I said that it wasn't very evil, it was kind of a kind thing, and I was like, I thought of myself, it might have been a child or some sort.
Mm.
But literally, what I did is I kind of pushed my elbow and said, "No, move, go away." And this little presence actually moved away from my body. I could immediately feel the leaning of the body moving away from mine and disappearing. And I said, please don't bother me.
Wow.
And it went away. But and since then I haven't actually gone and stayed over. I don't know if I want to enjoy the presence again.
So Rose, let me just get this straight. You went twice and you slept in the same room, and you didn't even, you just pulled the blanket over your head. You didn't even run out when it started stroking your hair. You are one tough cookie.
No, well, it didn't really felt evil.
Okay.
But now a very interesting another story I'm going to throw in as something else, which is kind of a little bit of a modern day, because the only ghosts that we actually kind of associate with is some things that happened in the past. People that are lost and people that are not kind of. A couple of months ago, there was. There's a cave here in Wilderness. I don't know if you ever visit the cave here. If you walk through, you basically walk from Linky's Klip all along the railway line, through the tunnel, and then you get to this cave, which used to be a restaurant, and it's now been occupied by a guy who is a drifter, but he turned it into a home for other drifters.
Okay.
And what happens is the people come and go as time goes by. And at one stage, there was a drifter there, and I don't know the circumstances under this whole thing, but there's a little pathway down from the cave, and apparently he fell down there and he drowned.
Shoo.
And ever since then, any of the guys who are living in the cave, when they actually go home at night and they have to go through the tunnel, this guy is standing there waiting for them.
Oh gosh!
And they can see him, and then they're terrified, and they refuse to actually walk alone, so every time they appear. Or they go home late at night and in the tunnel, then this figure appears in the tunnel and just keeps staring at them. And terrified people to actually turn around and go back.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So that's a very modern time, kind of little bit of a ghost story. So if you do visit the cave, make sure it's daylight.
Yeah.
And then one last little thing I came across was a guy who actually wrote on TripAdvisor, and he called it the ghost of Prince Albert Pass, the one that goes from Knysna to Uniondale. And he wrote on there that he actually lived in the valley in De Vlucht, and he used to travel up along the road to go fetch stones in the Karoo side. And there's a place called Take Oor. And he said he drove there in late evening one night to go and collect some of these stones because that was after he kind of finished his day. And when he got to the gate to open it, he says, and as he touched the gate, the hairs on his neck kind of raised, and he had this extremely cold feeling. And then as he touched the gate to open it, something brushed past his hand, and he actually... He's like, he never got his car so fast.
I'm sure. Oh my gosh, Rose, this is so interesting. But tell me just quickly, lastly, that place you went to in Sedgefield, where you had those two experiences, was it a fairly old building?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't. It was on the water's edge on the island.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, the house, I can assume, has been built in about the 1970s. Obviously, nothing was ever been told, but it was interesting that one of our friends actually picked up before I actually had these experiences, that he was like, oh no, I don't like this place. There's in this hallway, there's something, and there's a presence in this hallway. So it is quite interesting. Maybe it was a place that has been built on a place that somebody lived a long time ago.
Exactly.
Or maybe there was a child or a dog or something maybe a child or something. It was definitely a young presence that kind of got lost there in that piece of property, and maybe just dwells in that kind of, and finds his way to whatever, to comfort. Maybe he was unloved, or I don't know why I keep feeling that it was a very young child, and also probably a Khoisan child.
Oh,
more
wow.
than anything else.
Okay, well, that's very, very interesting. Rose, wow. We're going to have a part 3. So I'm looking forward to that already. But it's true what you're saying. Why are we getting all these old ghosts? It's 2021. When are we getting some new hip ghosts,
Yeah.
They always play these old songs. Like, when are we getting a ghost playing Shakira or something? Bit of a new modern ghost. They always have these old costumes and outfits on. When are we getting some modern ghosts, man?
I think we're so enthralled with modern living and modern things, lights and electricity and things. So, sources of energy kind of changes, I think, over time.
Yeah.
And one day I'll tell you a story from my grandmother's farm, which was in Johannesburg, which is a bit far away from here, but that was definitely my grandmother's experience as a child.
Sure.
Yeah, which was an interesting journey for them. And today, that their farm was. Do you know Wanderers? It's Johannesburg Wanderers.
Mm-hmm.
The Wanderers Stadium. That was my great grandfather's farm, and he actually came from this area. He came from Mossel Bay, and he bought this farm. It was the third part of Johannesburg, and they had quite an interesting experience there on the farm.
Sure. Okay, Rose. Definitely part 3 soon.
If you have a ghost story to tell, or you have something that you want me to share at some stage, you're welcome to drop me a note in my Facebook page and on the announcement that of our ghost stories, and I will go and research a little bit into it.
Yeah, get in touch.
There are some some places they don't want you to talk about things. Obviously, it's public and they don't want to scare people. But
Yeah.
you're welcome to share. We can always change the environment.
Yeah, especially if it's like a B&B. I mean, they've been through enough now. We don't want to chase people away now with ghost stories as well. However, I found that sometimes it actually attracts people because they're curious and they come and they want to experience the ghosts, you know. So it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No. Some people are really attracted to the paranormal. Quite scary. I was thinking about it today. I was like, oh my goodness gracious, I'm talking so much about the paranormal and we're doing so much research. Something's going to come find me.
Oh my gosh, yeah, maybe we are waking things up. I mean, one time when we had that discussion, our very first part of the ghost stories, things went like really strangely in the studio. So I don't know what is happening. But very, very interesting. Talking about scary things, did you see the lightning last night? Or did you guys not have any lightning in Wilderness?
Oh, the storm was very huge here last night and the wind was something else.
Yes, it was quite hectic here in Eisen as well. But I think you guys got most of it there.
I don't know. I think it was kind of, it moved so quickly. It came from the east, actually. It's northeast.
It was
so it came from
very, 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 very quickly. I saw those clouds and it just all went to PE. Yeah, they all got it, yeah. Oh gosh, interesting. Rose, thank you as always, and I look forward to speaking to you again next Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Good. Speak to you next week.
Thanks, Rose.
Take care.
You too, bye.
Oh, and so by the way, when you were talking about famous, quickly, you were talking about famous birthdays. Today was the famous Dr. Seuss's birthday. He was born on the 2nd of March, 1904. You know, Dr.
Thank
Seuss,
you.
The hat and the cat.
Yes, that's it. Thanks so much for telling us. That's fantastic. I probably missed that one. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling us, Rose. Cool. Have a lekker day.
Then you too.
Thanks.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye now.